altitude, altitude. altitude, altitude. Altitude, altitude.
User was moved to your channel.
Hello.
Hello.
You alright?
I'm not too bad, thanks, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just got to land. I'm just out and about in a T6, just returning to base. If you could, you might already have the tweak. Have you ever heard of the small part radius tweak?
No.
Okay, you won't have the tweak then. Right, let me land and I'll go on team viewer.
Yeah, I'm just going down through 29,000 feet now, so I'll still be a good 10 minutes till I'm on the runway.
Alright, that's fine. When I accepted your application, I recognised your name, but I don't know where from.
I don't know.
You part of any other virtual airlines or anything?
British Airways, that's it.
Don't know. Maybe we've talked on Batsim at some point, I don't know.
Possibly. I do tend to give people a little bit of a poke if I've got something to say.
Where'd
Makes it all the more interesting.
Where'd you fly?
Mainly sort of the Europe area at the moment, but
What's your base airport in the UK?
Heathrow or Gatwick.
We might have encountered each other at Gatwick, I don't know. So I fly for JetBA,
Ah, yeah.
which is the biggest, oldest EasyJet virtual. I've got freaking about 6,000 watts an hour.
Yeah, see, I'm relatively new. Only a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I got vaccinated. So
Oh, okay.
just over 100 hours, I think I have online at the minute.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone I set a 25 knot tailwind to get me there a bit quicker. It's alright, there's no controllers on, so it's not a problem at the minute.
So basically, the routine here, in case you haven't gathered, is you do your skills check. It's just to check you've got basic flying ability, which you most likely will have, but it's just a thing we have to do. But it also allows us to have a sortie where we can set up your TFR. What do you use for British Airways virtual? Do you use ACARS?
We have our own BA virtual, Phoenix it's called.
It's called Phoenix. What does it look like?
I'll send you the picture of it.
Because it's probably, they call it Phoenix, but it's probably the same as everyone else's ACARS, but everyone else's is slightly different. Send us a picture and we'll see. Oh, that's different. Definitely different. Alright. We got a flight recording system, which have you installed it? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that down there.
Cool. It's fairly simple to use. Right, I'll land tightly in and shut down, and I'll wait for you. Because what you're going to do, you're going to join my aircraft. Have you got the T6 already installed?
Yeah, T6.
Okay, good. So all we really need to do is the tweak and just make sure you understand the setup of the flight recording program. Have
Yeah.
you read the whole of the SOPs? Because basically everything you need to know is in there.
I briefly read it. I haven't.
Right,
Properly scrolled.
you may want to read it properly so you don't get caught out at some point and you lose a flight. Because there's a couple of things that you lose a flight for. We fly aircraft from where their last location was as well.
Yeah, I've noticed that one.
Pilots can teleport, aircraft can't.
Yeah.
We pretty much operate as we operate as an air force almost, a self-sustaining force. So all our logistics we do ourselves and all that. What are you looking to fly primarily?
Altitude.
Well, I'd love to say sort of fast jets, but at the same time, I'm not actually that good at flying them. So I think probably more heavy, like long logistics.
The aim is everyone flies everything. That is the aim. But initially, you choose your first aircraft, then you choose your way through the aircraft basically.
Again, it does sort of depend on how long the flights are as well, because I've got to sort of balance it with BA virtual, so I don't want to be flying sort of 12 hours, but I'm good with up to 5 or 6 hours.
Oh yeah, no. There's always, even the logistics flights, there's always the shorter flight options. So the 12-hour flights, there'll be two locations you can stop over at.
Yeah, I'd probably say sort of like A400 and then move on to the C-17 sort of thing.
Right, are you familiar with flying an Airbus?
Yeah, that's all I've flown so far.
Right, good. That makes it a lot easier. Because,
I did have a look, it's pretty much exactly the same cockpit.
yeah, pretty much exactly the same. What we'll do then is basically, we like the training for the A400M, we can't do dual cockpit. So it'll be me on TeamViewer talking you through the cockpit, through the limitations, and then it will be a simple pirate monitoring operation, and I might get you to watch a couple of my videos on my A400M flights, because you'll see how I operate it. Because for some reason that aircraft is incompatible with doing a shared cockpit.
Alright.
So there's not a lot of training for the A400M. The C-17 we can do dual cockpit, and then the KC-30 pretty much is procedural flying, so it's flying a bigger Airbus, and if you've flown an Airbus you'll be able to fly that.
Yeah.
But you have to get 20 hours on your first frame before you can move on to anything else.
Yeah, I'd definitely do that on an A400M.
Okay. What we tend to do as well. Have you had a look at the op sheet?
Yeah, I couldn't make sense of most of it, but I had a good look. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can talk you through that in a minute. Right, I've parked up. I'll just wait here for a bit for you. I'll be back in a second.
I am 30 miles from the ILS.
Okay. Right, I'm back. Whilst you're descending, you're able to listen in. I'll go through the SOPs. Just
Yes.
important bits. I'll start at the beginning. Right,
I can
so
pull it up if I know where to find it.
I can send you a link. I'm streaming at the minute as well, just so you're aware.
Alright.
So you will be being recorded. Did you get that link?
Yeah.
And my message?
Yes.
Thank you. Cool. Right, so SOPs, we'll go through the first bit. Applicants must have a copy of Fsx Steam Edition. Did you tick that box?
Yes.
You got a working mic, you got the ability to do TeamSpeak, and you can speak English. Right, so we're covered there. Applicants are advised to purchase. Basically, it's a list of the products we use.
Yes.
We mainly fly evening times, UK time zone. Now that is for normal pilots. Because of the shift pattern I work, I fly a lot of sporadic. I'll fly a lot for about 4 days, and then I'll fly just in the evenings for 4 days if I fly at all in those 4 days because it's the way I work.
Yeah.
Nigel pretty much is a daytime flyer, but he is available for nighttime flights when needed. Stephen O'Connell is a bit of an all-rounder, can fly not so much daytimes in the weekdays. Stephen Munson's also on shift, so his is sort of a shift pattern. So there's availability most of the time. You'll be able to get someone.
Yeah.
But you need to only use the Facebook group for comms. That's the quickest way, and that's the way you go through booking people. And it's the easiest way to do it. So if you need to book a flight, let us know when you're available, because there's probably going to be 3 people that can train you, so one of us might be available.
Yeah. Right.
Our main bases are Brize Norton, Coningsby, Marham, and Lossiemouth, but we do deploy. So clearance to fly. Skills check must be completed within 2 weeks of joining, which we're about to do. You can only fly alone once skills check is done. Once this skills check is done, though, that only clears you to fly the T6 to clock hours.
Alright.
Until we've done your first flight, because the first flight of every training unit is a general handling and introduction to allow you to then jump in the airplane and fly it alone.
Alright.
So we'll get that done as soon as possible. Hopefully this week we can do it. You can only fly aircraft that you are trained, and if you look on the spreadsheet, there's training section. It'll show you what you can fly.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
If you get suspended from the network or anything, if you're caught coming on, there'll be further sanctions. But I've never suspended anyone, and it's quite hard to get suspended. So our initial training procedure is the skills check, which will test taxiing, takeoff, military circuits, landing, basic aerobatics, stall recovery, and joining a military circuit. All taught by me. If you're interested in learning to fly any other aircraft except from your primary, you have to be a flight lieutenant or above and hold a minimum of 20 hours on your primary aircraft. The way you get promoted is I decide.
Alright.
And it's all based on time you've put in and your commitment to us. But as you said, you've got to share your time. 4 or 5 out of 8 of us all fly for a civilian VATSIM virtual airline as well as doing other stuff. So it isn't that hard to balance. To track your training progress, it's on the sheet. When you file a PIREP, you get lost PIREPs under the following circumstances. If you carry out a flight that you're not qualified to fly, as in you fly an aircraft you're not supposed to. If an aircraft is teleported without my permission, which I never give, so you'll never be able to teleport an aircraft. What I mean by that is if it's at Marham and you fly it from somewhere else, the flight will just get deleted.
Alright, I get you.
If there's not enough proof of it taking place, so if you submit, because sometimes the recording system doesn't work very well or crashes, so if you submit a manual PIREP, I need proof that flight actually happened. We're not on VATSIM, so there's no way of recording that other than sending me sort of a flight analysis or some kind of proof that the flight actually happened.
Alright.
Unless I'm obviously there, then I know it happened. That's my proof.
They're sort of like screenshots a couple
Yeah.
of hours apart or something like that.
Yeah, anything that confirms to me that you have done the flight and you're not just submitting hours for nothing. A flight where you crash. If you crash through pilot error, that is. So if you're shot down, that's another story. But if you crash for no apparent reason, basically, that'll get rejected. Which means you don't get the hours, but the flight does still appear on your record.
Alright.
So filing a PIREP, you have to be on the MilAirSim server, and you have to be on TeamSpeak to claim hours.
Sounds alright.
What I'll get you to do is, like I've got RFR01, I can't remember what your number is, but you'll need to put that in front of your name on TeamSpeak. At some point, we'll go through TFR setup in a minute. We've just gone through how to... Oh, do you have TAC Pack, by the way?
No, I don't.
Okay, you will need to get it, even though you're only flying only flying transport. Because if you do a tactical flight, you need the ability to be shot down, avoid missiles, and detect missiles.
Yeah,
and everything
I'll
like that.
consider spending some money on it when I get paid.
Yeah, so if we can look at that, it's not an immediate requirement, but it is something we'd like you to have, because you can actually TACPack actually records a black box of your flight as well, regardless of whether TFR crashes, because you could submit that. It's called a TAC view file. I load it up and it gives me a 3D version of your flight, basically.
Alright.
We've gone over teleporting, we've gone over use of aircraft. Oh, that's it. If you do fly the F-35 or Typhoons at some point and you haven't got TACPack, they can only be flown as training aircraft. They can't be flown in an operational role, because you need TACPack to be operational. If at some point down the line you want to help out and be a QFI, so you can help do the T6 training flights and training on your aircraft, what have I got? You'd basically request it from me and it'll be given on the basis of experience.
Alright, yeah.
Call signs, you always use the same login on TeamSpeak, but depending what you're flying gives you a different call sign. For instance, if you're flying any of the transport, which you will initially be flying, you'll be ASCOT and then your pilot number. So I think, are you 02? I can't really remember.
I'll have a look when I...
Yeah, whatever you are. So you'd be ASCOT 02, but if you flew a different aircraft, so the F-35 is a Gibson, the Eurofighter is a Razor. Every single airframe, individual airframe on the SOPs has a different squawk. We use this because when we're flying in the fast jets, you can actually read people's squawks. Therefore, you know what frame they're in, so it's identifiable.
Right, yeah.
Rank structures, obviously me's the boss, Nigel's my 2IC. You are in my flight along with Stephen O'Connell and Darren Hales if he turns up at some point. And then in Nigel's flight, I've got Stephen Munson, Connor, and Ian. Activity and promotion. The minimum you need to submit a month is 2 hours over 2 flights. So it either needs to be do like an hour and a half flight and a half an hour flight, that would qualify, or 2 1-hour flights. But what you can't submit is 1 2-hour flight or 2 flights that don't add up to 2 hours minimum. So it's 2 hours over at least 2 flights a month.
I get you.
If you fail to meet that 2 months in a row, I'll have whinged like a little bitch at you already. But you will be discharged AWOL. And that means if you do then all of a sudden realise you're AWOL and want to come back, it's then considered. And if you do come back, there's certain limitations put on you. Promotions based on activity level, but I can give it for any reason really. So if you've got any skills or anything like that, let us know. We could probably use them. Demotion doesn't really happen, but if you fucked up bad, I'd demote you. Squadron op sheet we've been over. Leave of absence. Any request for leave of absence must be submitted to me. Leave for more than 30 days will require you to pass the check ride for the aircraft you're currently qualified in.
Right.
So let's say today you fly an A400 and then you don't fly it for another 31 days. You need to pass the check ride, not the training, but the actual skills check at the end. But with the A400 it's not really applicable because it's pirate monitoring. only. So I'll basically, all your PIREPs I'll scrutinise, I'll look at every detail and make sure everything's right before I accept them.
Yeah.
Dishonourable, where am I at? Oh yeah. Leave of more than 90 days will, actually no, it should be more than 30 now. After 30 days, the system starts making you retired. It doesn't delete your account, but it does retire you, so you won't appear on the roster, but you will still be in the system, so I can reactivate you.
Alright.
Yeah, that's that. Discharge, you get the AWOL discharge, which is what I've said if you don't do enough hours. Dishonourable, so that's if you are... these aren't just sort of... These aren't terms. You'd actually have to do something, like if you came on TeamSpeak and started giving shit to people for no reason. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Retirement is either you withdrawing yourself from mass because you can't commit the time at the moment or something like that, or me deciding you can't commit the time and I will retire you. What that does, that allows you to return at any time as if you've just reapplied. A dishonourable discharge means that you may not ever be let back in. An AWOL discharge means that you will be allowed back in, but I think I've got it on here. Yeah, you can rejoin at any point, but if 30 days have passed, you'll then have to. The normal rules apply, so you'll have to fly a check ride again. But you'll be on a probationary period for 2 months, in which you're required to fly 2 hours minimum a week. Because obviously, if you've been discharged AWOL, that's showing you can't commit the time. So if you rejoin, we need to prove you can commit the time. We're not going to go over the same situation again. So if you tried to rejoin and you know you can't fulfill that, I wouldn't bother rejoining. Forum use. The forum is the default for communications, but we use Facebook. The forum is there. There's not a lot on it on our side because everything for us is stored either in the SOPs or the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Logistics taskings, this will apply to you. So logistics taskings are offered to squadron pilots first, obviously. If the logistics tasking itself has been available for more than 2 weeks, it's then offered out to the rest of MIL Air Sim squadrons because other people can fulfill our tasks for us.
Yeah.
Obviously you fly in VATSIM, so you can do an IFR route. There's no FMC in the C-17 or the A400M. The way it's done is a default GPS file, and then you can either manually fly the SID or fly direct to the first fix. And at the end of the flight, it's pretty much up to you. The IFR route basically needs to be a route from the first fix to the last fix, and then you can land. You don't have to do SIDs and stars. We don't enforce it that much. But you must put an IFR route in. It can't be just a direct to airport route for ferry flights or taskings.
Yeah, I'll get PFPX to do me a nice flight plan.
Yeah, and then you just need to export it to a GPS file for the A400M or the C-17. You just load it in the default GPS, and then you switch to GPS mode and use the nav mode to follow that.
Yeah.
Or if you've got another program like Flight Sim Commander that will do it, follow the Flight Sim Commander route. It's not really important to me how you follow the route, but you must fly the route.
Yes.
So Airfield Circuits. When joining an airfield, you'll always perform a run and brake. Doesn't apply to you because you're flying. You don't have to perform a run and brake in a strategic aircraft. Be aware that you may enter airfields that other people are at who aren't currently communicating with you on TeamSpeak. I'm not going to go through the ATC calls because that's it. We've got a pilot setup list which we'll go through in a minute. And then I've got annexes at the bottom. What they are is depending what rank you are, you have minimums. So for you at the minute, you're a flying officer unqualified. So your takeoff visibility from an airfield needs to be 3,000 meters or more. Your landing visibility needs to be 4,000 meters or more. Maximum crosswind 15 knots. Maximum crosswind takeoff 15 knots. Maximum crosswind landing is 10 knots. Minimum visual decision altitude is 600 feet. Minimum ILS decision altitude is 400 feet. This is all on the chart, so you'll be able to decipher that. And then under that, there's a separate table that has a list of minimums that are aircraft specific. So depending what rank you are and what aircraft you're flying, you go off the most restrictive. So
Right.
even though you're flying an A400M, which the restrictions on the aircraft are a lot lower than your restrictions, you would fly by your rank restrictions.
Right.
Whereas for me, if I flew the A400M, I would fly via the A400M restrictions because the decision altitudes are higher for the aircraft than they are for my rank.
Yeah, I get you.
I've then got a table and I've got a few other bits underneath. Basically, every aircraft you've got some data on, and the ones that it's relevant for, you've got V speeds and any useful speed. The KC30 is a little bit different. You've got no V speeds because it's actually worked out using the takeoff performance calculator. And then you've basically got all the details on there. For the A400M, we've actually got a gauge that we install, which pops up, and when you've got takeoff flap set, it gives you your V speeds, it gives you your optimum altitude, and it gives you your current weight. And once you're airborne, it gives you your VREF, which we also use as VAP. We don't add any knots for VAP for the C17 or A400M because they fly so well already. I've also got a little, for the A400M and C17, there is no fuel planning software, so there is a table underneath which, dependent on your cruise speed depends how much you're burning an hour, and then depending on how long your flight is, it's a different calculation. So for instance, flights of 2 hours or less, you must carry double route fuel, so you must carry fuel that you could get there and back plus 20%, and you'd climb to your optimum and stay there. Flights of 2 to 4 hours, you carry your route fuel plus 40%, and you climb to your optimum and stay there. Flights of more than 4 hours, you carry route fuel and 20%, and then due to the weight and the duration of the flight, your initial cruise level will be a lot lower than your final cruise level. So you'll step climb as and when you can.
I get you.
But the fuel calculations are there. Yes, that's pretty much that. Is that you nearly landing yet, or can I carry on?
Yeah, I'm already down, just waiting.
Oh, you're already down. Okay. I'll talk you through the spreadsheet in a sec. If you get taxied in and stuff, start TeamViewer up, then I'll sort you out.
Alright, I've got a team viewer. I just need to make a phone call, so I'll be a minute. And I'm back.
Cool.
Oh, crap, sorry.
Just gotta check that's the right one. This basically, by default, Flight Sim won't show you an aircraft, traffic-wise, until it takes up 4 pixels. I'm changing that so that it shows as a little dot a long way away.
Alright.
Do you have active
Nope.
or do you?
I don't at the minute.
Okay, cool. I'll turn mine off then for this flight.
Yeah, the thing is when you're starting out, there's so much different things you can get, but only so
Yeah.
much you actually need.
Yeah. You not been flight simming that long?
No, well, 2 months maybe.
Okay. Right, let me just look at my list. Right, so what we got? That's done. TeamSpeak's working. You've got the aircraft plus the extra required. You've got the scenery so far. You haven't got tap pack yet, so it's fine. So it's just TFR we need to do. Which you've installed, haven't you? Is it on your desktop?
Yeah, the shortcut's down there on the right.
Oh yeah. Right, so this. What windows you got?
10.
Okay, we'll make sure it always runs as admin. Right, I'll talk it through. Right, so it'll load up like this. What we'll do now is, have you changed your passwords at all when you join?
No, it should be the same one that you gave me.
Okay, do you know what the 3 numbers are?
701 for my ID.
Yeah, cool. Do you know what your call sign is as well? What number you are on the roster? It's different to that.
No.
Okay. So that'll save it there now, so you won't need to put it in. So you just click that button there, that should connect you. I hope. Give it a sec. Is it crashed or is that just me not seeing it on my screen? Oh. There we go, right, so good connection. You're logged in, the way you know that is because if you go to the drop down list, there you go, it's all our aircraft.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, so that'll be your login. You always need to click chartered flight, because what that does, that empties these boxes so we can manually fill them out. Oh, hang on. Scratch that. You've got the old version of TFR installed. Let me get you the new. Basically, with the new one, you can choose between cargo and pax flights, because we always need to choose cargo, and then you can put the weight in correctly for the payload, so it gets accounted for on the system properly. Got so much shit open right now. What sort of internet you got?
Should be alright.
Shall I see? Oh shit, a brick. You might want to look at trying to trim this down a bit,
Alright.
because running all that will affect performance greatly. Why is this taking so long to install? Let's cancel that. You got another screen by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Oh, can you drag that over? So we try and get a fine balance between fun and realism. Because of the job I do, I've got quite a good insight into the logistics side of the RAF.
Alright.
There we go. Right, so I'll put that all in again. Right, so press that top left button, wait for good connection. And that'll go grey. Right, there you go. That's you logging in as if you're logging in on the site as well, because you can log into the crew room to view all your PIREPs and everything.
Yeah.
So what you always need to do is click chartered flight. Once that's clicked, you'll see everything greys out and you can choose packs and cargo flight. Don't choose anything there yet. All flights are always cargo anyway. So once you're flying it, you'll choose the A400 tail you're going to fly. You'll select it there,
Yeah.
and you'll press the green tick. This is the same with any aircraft. You select the aircraft and press the green tick. There you go, right, so that has entered that into your PIREP. It defaults at a random number of packs. It allocates a random number. So what you need to do, if you're empty, just empty that box, but always switch to cargo after you've selected the aircraft. So that's that done. What you then need to do, the flight number is always the same regardless of what you fly. It's always that. Departure and destination are quite simple. We're going to assign an A400 to this flight, but I'm going to amend your PIREP because we don't have T6s on our squadron, and because you're allocated to the squadron already, you won't be able to select one, so I'll just amend it for you in a minute. Flight level, right, if you're doing this flight level, I don't actually get to see what you've put in here, so you just need a number in there. If I'm doing a flight and I know what flight level I'm going to, I will actually enter it. But if I'm doing a general flight, I usually put 2,000 feet in because no one sees that. It doesn't appear anywhere. It's not logged.
Okay.
So in the route, you would actually copy and paste your full route, but we're just going to be doing VFR. So I'll just put VFR. Comments, What's best to put in here is usually the aircraft tail number in case this doesn't register to the aircraft, because then I can change that on the PIREP and I've already got it written down, and then a description of your flight. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, and for now, this done, because we need the sim for the next part. You holding the button down? Why have I got these little arrows come up? Right, it shouldn't crash. If it starts to do this, just give it a minute. Oh, it might actually be crashing. We'll see what it does.
Yeah, I've always wondered what that thing was. I never knew it was actually my running apps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's your running stuff. There, so if you shrink it, it actually goes to your taskbar. But you just click it and it'll bring it back up. Oh, what's it? What has this popped up? Can I exit your internet browser?
Yeah.
Can I exit Spotify?
Yeah.
So this will all be killing your stuff. Can I exit Skype?
Yeah, you can just close everything. Does your Fsx always do this? No, it often takes a while on that orange and blue screen, but it's never a problem.
Oh, fuck's sake. Popped up, didn't it? As I closed it. Go close whatever this is.
Yeah.
Right, let's get it loading. What graphics card you got?
Not a significant one.
Have you got your Fsx adjusted well for FPS?
It can get a bit rough with UK, no, what is it? ARB FTX England, if it's
Okay.
in a high intense area, but
Right, if you don't mind, let's go look at your settings.
yeah.
We do this. Oh, shit, a brick. Why would you have it that high? Right, I'm going to help you out here. Shit. You'll notice a hell of a difference in frames. You've got settings higher than I've got using an overclocked quad-core 4.6 processor and two 1080 GTXs. So,
Nice.
your settings are way too high for your system. You will be causing yourself more issues than anything else. what we find is a lot of people don't really know what they need to tweak to make their system perform well. And what we actually have to do, because it's multiplayer, we have to lock our frames to 30 or else aircraft shake. It's weird.
I doubt I get over 30 FPS anyway.
Okay, so you're probably better off locking it then. 31 will do. Let's just look at a few other settings.
I haven't touched this since I got the game.
Okay.
Because I know the Aerosoft A320 has some zone like flight model, so I've never really needed to touch this.
Okay. Well, it does still use these settings. Right, we're nearly done with the setup now. I just need to set your multiplayer up. Oh, wait for it to clear. Wait for it to respond. Yeah, I just need to set your multiplayer up, your timeouts and stuff, and then we can restart it and actually get you flying. Flight won't
Sounds
take
good.
that long. Flight will take less than half an hour.
Yeah, see, I live near RAF Leaving, so we get Hawks and all sorts of jets over it.
Oh, that's cool. I'm based at Bryce Norton.
Go down to Coningsby spotting a bit, because there's always something going on there.
Okay. Right, we'll join via this. What we need to do as well, we'll do it after, but you can't change this here. What that is, that's your Steam tag.
Alright.
Um, the easiest way to join is via Steam. So what you have to do is go into your Steam settings, go to your in-game. Nope, not in-game. Where is it? Somewhere. There, friends. What number are you? We don't know, do you?
Nope.
Let's have a look quick. I'll talk you through the op sheet after this flight, just quick. I haven't actually taught you through that yet. You will need to understand it for receiving your taskings, or picking taskings, should I say. Your ref air 02. Right, what this does, this changes your gamer tag in Steam, but you need it to change so that you can join the server as you call.
Alright.
Right, so at this point, we'll start Fsx. Bring TFR back up. Lol.
Nice. Let me reply.
You in school still? How old are you?
16. 17 in December.
Okay, good. It's alright, 16's our minimum age. Well, I accept pilots younger, but this is a general rule 16.
Yeah, I saw that when I
Right.
was there.
So, well, yeah, I'm the only squadron that has a discretion on it. Like, I will choose, if you're younger, I'll take people down to 13, but it all depends on your application, and when we first meet, I'll assess whether you're suitable and mature enough for it. Because
Yeah.
we don't want some 13-year-old kid ruining it. Right, so yeah, you see what I did there? You've got Steam and you've connected to Steam, so you're getting all the Steam lists. Right, if you see,
Yeah.
we've got 2 servers. We always fly the UTC one because that basically keeps us real world time. So wherever you are, you're at the real local time. If we fly in the evening and we need daylight for a specific reason, we'll fly on the -12.
Alright.
So you double click on it, comes up with this. Password is in the forum. Have you found it yet?
I could easily go and get it.
I'll put it in for now. I don't want to say it because I'm streaming. So I've put the password in for now. It will say trying to connect, and it will connect you to the server. You'll come to this screen. Where are we? So this is the screen where you set your flight up. For now, you're going to join my aircraft. You'll select air traffic controller, which is fine. It doesn't matter where you select. You'll go here into the lobby. See my aircraft.
Yeah.
You'll join my aircraft, and I'll click join session. This will now load you in the same aircraft as me, and when you unpause, I'll be in control of the aircraft still.
Yes.
You ever done dual cockpit?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing for my VATSIM P3 rating.
What's P3? I've got P1, but I never bothered with anything else because can't be asked.
P2 and P3 are like VFR and then sort of advanced VFR and general aviation knowledge.
Oh, easy.
Then you get P4, which is IFR rating, and like P5, and not a clue what that is.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty easy. It's just because it's shared cockpit, and the other guy that I do it with has a full-time job. It's like you have to wait for him to be available to actually get hours in and do it.
Have you got FSU IPC installed?
Yes.
Do you have a registered version?
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. You don't need registered. It's just there's a feature in it I might be able to turn on. It's called logging, and basically what it does is, I don't know if you're aware, FSX can work within a 3.5, I think it is, gigabyte of RAM. But it monitors how much you're currently using and how much is spare, so that you know if you're getting close to an out of memory issue, which means you're loading too much or going. Basically, you can expect a crash.
Alright.
But I'll turn that login on. It just basically goes on this top bar. It doesn't disrupt your sim at all. You fly windowed mode, yeah?
Yes.
Good.
Just so I can get my charts on the second screen.
Well, we've had people who don't. Have you got it pause on task switch, or have you turned that off?
No, I haven't.
So you haven't turned it off, or you have?
It doesn't pause if I click off.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I found that quite annoying when I was first flying on that.
Yeah. Oh, what's this doing? Right, it's just loading you into my aircraft. There we go. Right, so you should now load up. There we go. We're in my aircraft. Do you use any head tracking software?
Nope.
Okay, cool. I do, but it's fine. Right, you're going to stay in the front cockpit, so that's all good. Well, you've got GSX as well. If we'll just unpause, and you should have it. Basically, it'll be a cold and dark cockpit if you look down. Don't look around too much because it takes forever to load on my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Right, so we're in sync at the minute. I'm actually going to be sitting in the rear cockpit because it's model. Okay, so if we get TFR back. So once you're loaded in sim, you need to actually connect TFR to your sim, where it connects your FSU IPC. Right, and that's this bottom left button, FS control. So if I click that, it's connected to flight sim now. In order to start a flight, you need to have your parking brake on, which we do. You'll then click start flight.
Yeah.
Once that's going, when it goes, there we go. Right, you'll see it puts in a departure time. It'll put in a fuel in a second and boarding and all that, and it's started counting your flight time. Once we land, you'll press stop. You'll get a green and a red button. You press the green button to file it, the red button to cancel it. If you then do another flight, you need to unclick chartered flight, re-click it, and do the whole process again.
Alright.
What we can do with this, you don't have to have it running and visible. You can shrink it to your taskbar to minimize its effect. We'll just wait for your GSX to finish. Right, I'm going to jump off team viewer now. So, right, we're now in the aircraft. Now, I'm going to start the aircraft up. Hopefully. But I think I might have run out of battery. Oh no, it might be good, I don't know. Oh, might run out of battery. Give me a moment. Shouldn't have.
Where are we on the ground at the moment?
We're at Kpwt. It's in
No
America.
idea.
It's in America. Right. I've actually let the battery go flat. I didn't think it would. Right. I don't think I've got an APU on this. Right. Just press escape
Yeah.
and end flight. Should still be in my aircraft. That's good.
Yes.
I'm gonna reload in. Oh, if you can reload in as well. I'm almost loaded back in. It's just so I get the battery back. Oh, I'm at the wrong location there. Let me just move. Let me know when you're reloaded back in.
So I need to leave session or leave aircraft.
No, nothing. Just come back in now. As long as you've been to the lobby, come back in.
And we're loading scenery objects again.
There you go. Got the engine back on.
And I'm in.
Wonderful. You got the aircraft no longer cold and dark, yeah?
I've got the right panel on.
Yeah, cool.
Player has paused the session.
If you want to unpause it.
It still says the player has paused the session.
Oh, that's weird. How about now?
No, that's working now.
Cool. Just trying to get these screens going. I think the battery has to charge a little bit first. Okay, I'm in the front cockpit, so I'm just talking you through it. So left hand side, we've got by our left hand thigh, it's our warning testing panel. You've got flap indication, takeoff and landing, and up. You've got your throttle, which for some reason wasn't moving then. That's weird. There we go, now it's moving. You've got, can you see me switching all the lights on?
Yes.
You've then got a trim aid which will put on, landing gear, left MFD, right MFD. Let me just figure out why this isn't on. HUD's not coming on.
Avionics master needs to go on.
That'll be why I haven't got that started yet. There we go, right. Now we've got all the stuff. Right, HUD. Have you ever seen a HUD like this?
Kind of.
Right, airspeed indications on the left box, headings on the top, altitudes on the right, radar altitudes also on the right. You've got all your frequencies there. You've got Zulu time on the left, you've got your G on the left and your Mach number on the left. Turn indicator is on the bottom. In the middle you've got you see the little aeroplane that's bobbing up and down?
Yeah.
That's indicating your flight path.
Right.
Yeah, that's indicating your flight path rather than your nose angle. The W looking thing, that's indicating where your aircraft's pointing. So if they're different, your aircraft's not flying where it's pointing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's all you really need to know. Engine indications are on the right. We're not going to We won't overstress the engines. I'll put anti-ice on and we're pretty much ready to go. I'm not going to talk you a lot through this aircraft. It's a basic flight, this. Just don't, I think TFR should be connected. Right, I'm going to taxi us out to the runway. I'm going to perform a circuit and then you're going to have a go.
Alright.
So this thing usually taxis on idle. It's not seeming to want to. Dear, have you unpaused?
Yes.
You're unpaused, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Taxiing on idle now. Have you got prop mixture or anything on an axis?
No, I don't.
Okay.
User joined your channel.
Right.
Right, mate, just a quick question. Do you know when you're selecting the T6 and the TFR?
Yeah,
Not
you
there to select.
don't. Yeah, I know, because you're not in the mass training school. You just need to put it in the comment.
Oh, right, okay. What airframe do you select?
Any or none.
Any or none? Right, okay.
Sorry about my taxi here, I'm just busy typing at the same time. So I'm going to set takeoff flap, and I'm not going to actually touch the trim, I'm going to leave it at neutral.
Do we have any trim indicators?
Not as such, no. It's not like in a heavy. Right, we'll use the whole runway. I'm getting a master caution here. Can you just do me a favour and full throttle your end?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh no. So I'm getting on the hydraulic PSI. It keeps bumping right down, but it shouldn't be. It should be stabilised in the green. It might be. You sure you haven't got an access set for mixture? Not mixture,
Yes.
sorry. Propeller. Propeller
Yeah, I got
pitch.
it.
Okay. Oh, have you got rudder pedals?
Yes.
Okay, good. Have you got differential brakes set on the push down sort of thing?
I don't have it on my joystick, but I do have it to access more keys, so it's not a problem.
Okay. If you can't brake, let me know as soon as possible, because sometimes it's an issue when one of us has got pedals like me. Right, so I'm going to depart runway 19. Is this where the winds are for? Oh no, winds are 0. Pretty clear day. I'm going to climb to 2,000 feet on runway heading. Rotating at about 120 knots, nice and smooth, get off the ground. And I'm just going to do a circuit. And then I'll do a landing, approach and landing. I'll do a touch and go, and then I'll hand over to yourself, and then you'll be doing touch and goes.
Alright.
Just going to abort this takeoff. I don't know why we're getting low PSI reading. It's not making sense. Let's try again. Let me just check my switches. Almost like something's not freaking on properly. Maybe it might just be a multiplayer issue, maybe. Can't remember the last time I did multiplayer in this aircraft. As long as the performance is up to scratch, we'll carry on. So yeah, basically this is going to be touch and goes, then we'll depart a little bit, do a bit of aerobatics. Just want to get a general idea that you can fly a basic aircraft. So I'm rolling. I'm probably going to rotate about 100 knots just because we're short on runway. And we're quite light anyway. 70. There's 100. Gentle rotate. There it is.
Altitude. Altitude.
Gears coming out, flap coming in. You getting a master caution as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something to do a multiplayer. Can you press Control Shift F4 for me on your end?
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay. Just going to pause a second. Figure out what control you need to select to make sure the mixture's full. Because I can't handle having a master warning the whole time. This didn't happen last time I did these flights. Okay, propeller is Control F2, I think. Yeah. Oh no, Control F. Right, I'm going to import. Can you just press Control F4 on your side, please?
Yeah, it's control F4.
You pressed it, have you?
Yeah.
Right, still not. So you have to ignore that. I'll tell you what, let's try something. I'm going to give you control. Press Shift T for me.
I have control.
See, is your RPM reading really low as well? Your hydraulic pressure.
Yes.
That's telling me it's something your end because it's now stabilised. If you can press Control F4 and then
Yeah, it's still low.
can you press Control E for me? Press Control Shift F4. You press Control E, yeah?
Yeah.
It's weird that. Oh, it's coming back up. No, it's not. Oh, I'll look back. I have control.
Your control.
Or mine. Alright, so we'll fly at about 2,000 feet. I don't mind you keeping max throttle, just downwind and stuff. Oh, it's normalised now. My end's normalised, is yours?
Yeah, so it's mine.
Oh, maybe it just needed to switch to you and switch back to me to realise that it was right. I don't know. That was weird. I'm just trimming down a bit. I haven't got a HUD in the back, so I'm looking on the middle panel.
Alright.
So, downwind leg, you've obviously done VFR stuff. So this aircraft, we're looking for the aircraft to appear behind the left wing. Sorry, not the aircraft, the runway to appear behind the left wing. That's when we'll cut our throttle and we'll start to...
And watch out for the hot air balloon.
Yeah, where is he? Yeah, he's there. He's alright. A little away from us. So, do you see, just down there, you see where the water ends, the inlet is?
Yeah.
So we're looking to use that as our turning point. And then, if you look on our left wing, there's a small road that leads from the town towards the runway.
Yeah.
I'm going to use, you want to use something obvious like that as your line-up point. So I'm going to cut my throttle now. I've climbed a bit. Going to be look over the left wing, clear. Take note there is terrain off to our left, but we're going to turn inside of that. I'm looking to lose a bit of the speed in the turn, so I'm going to pull a little bit harder than I would normally. Got the road. Looking for the pappy lights. We're a bit high. A bit fast, so I'm putting the air brake out. Get ourselves down. Flaps to takeoff. Gears coming down. Flaps to landing. Air brakes in. Maintain idle for now until we've got low enough. Keep a nose down attitude. We're looking minimum about 110 knots. Put a little bit of throttle on. Keep us going. Start a little bit of a level out because we're in a...
Altitude. Altitude.
So I had to trim with my other hand because I had to hold control and talk to you. So there you go, there's the pappies, 2 red, 2 white. Now we're just going to ease it down, keep it coming down. We're at about 100 knots now. A little bit of power. It's weird from the back cockpit there. There's the line. Have to land after that line so it's usable run. Throttles to idle, nose up slightly. Hold it. Keep it where it is. There's the wheels. Put the front wheel on. Reduce the flap to take off. Full power. Power's on. Speed's coming back up. 80, 90, 100. Rotate. 10 degrees. Hold 10 degrees.
Altitude.
Gears coming up. Flaps coming up. Speed's coming up. Nose will try and drop slightly. And back to 140 knots, happy flying. Right,
Yeah.
you happy you can do a circuit?
Well, give it a go.
You have control?
I have control.
It's not quite trimmed out, you might want to trim it as you go.
Get my throttle ready to full power. Get a trim.
So what a lot of people do, they flare a lot earlier than they need to. Because it's quite a small aircraft, you only need to flare a few feet above the runway. If you flare too early, it's not like an airliner that comes in on a flare, comes in on a nose up angle.
Yeah.
This can pretty much come in level and still be descending. The flare is just to soften, to make sure the touchdown's a greaser rather than slamming it into the ground.
Yeah.
So you get one of two people. Either the person who flares too early ends up getting too low speed and then almost falls the last 50 foot to the ground, or you get the person who fights that urge, but then when it does come to flare, pulls the stick as hard as they can back and stalls the aircraft instantly onto the ground.
Hopefully I won't.
Yeah. Did you sort of have a feel for what I was doing? I was keeping it flying, but also making sure I was controlling the descent and keeping the descent on.
Yeah.
Until the last minute where I flared out and just reduced the descent rate.
Oh, now we've come a bit wide. Just give it a bit of that.
Yeah, it's alright. See, because I got track IR, it helps a lot with coming wide instead. Like, I can look round, I can look round with my head. I'm not having to pan or nothing. It's a lot faster.
I've put it on a hat switch, so it is relatively easy. But
Yeah.
maybe
What's the
not.
active?
Active runway 19. You in here?
Yeah.
Okay, maintaining left circuits, runway 19. We have all calls, so
Copy.
training 1 is downwinds, touch and go 19, local finals. I've just reset the altimeter to local. Can you just press B for me?
Yeah.
Cool, there we go.
297.
Yeah. 297 what?
Yeah.
I got 2992.
Yeah, it's not changing. I'll have a look in a minute.
Alright, don't worry about it. You just concentrate on the landing. Training 1, turning finals, runway 19, report finals.
Bit crap to taxi, isn't it?
Say again?
Bit annoying to taxi, isn't it?
No, you need a prop pitch axis on your stick, because if you reduce the prop pitch, it'll taxi on idle. With if your props fully course, it'll taxi on idle. Right, so level off here. Level off. Because what you're okay.
User entered your channel.
So what you've done now is you're flying, and you're going to have to turn quite near to the runway. So what you want to do, once you've got the runway in that left view, continue straight until you can turn and be lined up as early as possible. Speed's getting a little bit low. We're at 110 knots. I've got the gear down and I've got the flaps in takeoff position at the moment.
Flaps will come down to landing.
Okay, flaps are on landing, gears confirmed down. So you want to be maintaining at least 100 knots, ideally 110 on the approach. Get a feel for it with the aircraft. And training 1 is finals. So we're quite high at the minute, so you can afford to probably idle throttle and get a little bit of descent on, and then you'll have to put a little bit of throttle on as we level out to slow the descent. Right, I'm going to stop talking now. It's all you. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up. We'll see. No pressure.
What's the final speed?
More than 100 knots.
Alright, shit.
Or I'll shoot.
Altitude.
What you'll notice is you'll end up stalling it, which is what we're coming into now. I have control.
You have control.
Right, speed there got a little bit too low. And what was starting to happen is your nose was starting to come further and further up just to slow the descent, which increased your speed drop, but the further your nose got up, the faster you were actually descending.
Alright.
So just try and keep the speed up a little bit. Keep it above 100 knots, that's probably safe. Right, just to save you having to do the whole circuit, I'll get you on a late downwind. I was happy with your circuit flying. Just careful on the approach not to get too low.
Thing is, circuit flying's the same for every aircraft, but the actual landing.
The actual landing's different, yeah. You got to get a little bit of a feel. So in the middle of your hood, the little circular aeroplane, that is indicating where your aircraft's going. So if that is way below the W-shaped one, your aircraft's descending with the nose pointing up, which isn't a great thing in this type of plane. You have control.
I have control. Alright, idle throttle, got the road.
Training 1, late downwind, touch and go.
Training 2, hold on runway 19.
Bollocks, I've got an audience.
You're training 7.
Yeah, that right. Oh yeah, shit, yeah, mate.
Yeah, I don't
Dead
know.
it, never call, son.
Charlie's training too, so
I'm trying to get a promotion, aren't I?
yeah. Tighten the turn up, mate. Just a little bit. Don't be scared to yank them back. There you go.
So bring gear and takeoff flaps down.
There you go, nice. So now we're looking for the runway. There's the runway. Level off now. So keep going in this direction until you need to turn. Keep the descent on, and keep 110 knots for safety. Because at 110 knots you can full power and pull out of that by just leveling off. So go to full flap now. Then we're prepped. There you go. Landing flap set. Gears confirmed down. Have the runway. Training 1 finals. Touch and go 19. Keep the descent on. Stop. Don't pull your nose up. Keep the descent on. There, see, that's good. Still a little bit high here. Keep us coming down. Try not to fight the descent. Trim it out if you have to. Let go of the stick. I want to see where your trim is. Yeah, so you're trimmed quite nose down. There you go. I'll give you a bit of up now. That should help you a bit. Keep it coming. Looking good so far. Try to be gentle on the stick. I notice you're pulling it back a little bit. Yeah, that's good. This is constant. Keep this constant. Don't pull the nose up. Okay. Tiny little bit of power. I'm going to give you some up trim to help you out. Try not to pull the nose up. Keep it coming down, keep it coming down. Radar altitude, you're looking for 20 feet, and then you're going to do a gentle flare. Flare. Idle throttle, idle throttle, idle throttle. Keep it flared, keep the nose there. There's the runway. So flaps to take off, full power, steer us. And let's get going again. Hundred knots, gentle, gentle pull.
Altitude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wait for 140 knots in the flat.
Okay.
Is runway clear?
Stand by. Training 1, airborne, turning downwind, I have control.
Trim to
you have
land
control.
up. Sin 2 again.
Okay. You are going to do a couple more landings, don't worry. So, joining a military circuit in anything that's not, well, even a heavy can join a military circuit. So, let's say we're just flying over here. Training 1 going wide, left-hand circuit, 2,000 feet.
Gonna depart VFR north just to give you a bit of space.
So let's pretend we're out and about, we're on a sortie, blah blah blah. Right, we're coming home. We're going to approach the field for a run and brake. So we're going to identify the active runway, 19's just there. So pretend we're not on downwinds, this is just because I'm trying to turn off the finals. Run and brake can be performed at any height, but it looks cool if you do it low. Training 1, turning in runway 19, run and brake to join. So imagine we're a flight of 3 aircraft. We need to split up for the circuit. We can't fly around the circuit on wingtips. So we'll line up, fly down the runway at a designated height, and then it'll be so first call sign will call training 1 brake brake brake. Second call sign will call training 2 brake brake brake. Third call sign will call training 3 brake brake brake. You'll brake into the circuit. You're aiming to, usually you do a low to high brake, so you'll brake at 500, you'll climb to 2000 in the turn. You'll level off downwind, and the times between the brakes and the flight, that'll give you some distance in the circuit. So as you're coming around, you're looking for the guy in front of you to confirm you've got enough room to turn. So at this point, training 1's now turning onto finals. Training 2's watching him, wait until he's round the turn, enough separation. We don't have to wait for him to clear the runway, but we do have to wait so it's safe separation.
Alright.
So training 2's now turning finals. Training 3 turning finals, 2 ahead, visual to land. So it's basically an aggressive manoeuvre to break up a flight on the entry to an airfield.
Yeah, I get you.
Or you can do it for shits and giggles. I tend to do it in the heavies when I've got if I'm doing a ferry flight, I'll arrive and dump a load of flares as I do a run and brake. You happy to take over from this position and land? Touch and go?
Yeah.
You have control. I've got your gear coming down, your flaps are coming down to landing flap now. feel the aircraft.
Jesus, it's crap visibility further out.
Oh mate, we're not on active sky.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't got it, so I can't use it whilst I'm in the same cockpit. Keep the nose down, keep the nose down. Keep the nose at this angle, don't pull up until I tell you. And when I do, pull up gently. Just try and get the descent
Altitude.
on. Speed's keeping itself naturally there.
Touch and go again, yeah?
Yeah, keep the nose down. Let's go for the centre line. Need to touch down after the line. Start a gentle pull out. Idle the throttle. Keep it coming down. Gentle flare, there you go. Hold it there, hold it there, hold it there. Let the aircraft do itself. And there's the runway. There's the nose gear. Full power. I might have got you to flare a slight bit higher then.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, once you're in flying clean config, let me know, I'll have control.
Flaps just coming up. Flaps just coming up now, he said. There you go. You have control.
Or mine. Training 1 leaving the circuit to the west, climbing 6,000.
It's the best stay away from Seattle.
Probably. Right, we'll do some basic aerobatics. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with what a barrel roll is. It's a roll that it's not an axis roll. An axis roll would just be earlier on like that. A bit of rudder, a bit of elevator, and you're sort of drawing a big circle with your nose. You've then got an Immelman and an S-turn. I can never remember which way round it is. One of them is a half loop followed by a half roll. One of them's a half roll followed by a half loop pulling under. So one of them you pull up, one of them you pull down. So one of them's like this. There's no need to rush it around the turn. Don't yank just because you can. Nice and gentle. Just watch the airspeed. Airspeed's still fine. Still good. There you go. So it'll start coming back up, and there's a roll out there. Happy?
Yeah.
The opposite is we'll do it on an idle throttle because we're going to gain speed. It's going to be a roll, level, and pull. I don't know how many G's I'm pulling on your screen. If you black out, it's because I've got my tap pack. It simulates fighter jet realism, so I can take a lot more G than the default. So I don't know if you were blacking out then or not.
I had about 6G coming out. It was just starting to creep in.
I'm not sure if this aircraft will do it, but a stall turn. You have to time it right with the turboprop. That's the problem, because it relies on prop wash. So stall turn, cut the throttle. We're going for as close to 90 degrees as we can. Speed's getting full power, full elevator in one direction. Oh, it's going the wrong way. Right, no, can't do it in this because it's not responsive enough. Oh, hello. Let's recover that. Yeah. So, because it's not responsive enough, you end up just tumbling out the sky and have to recover. So we won't do a stall turn in this thing. What other maneuvers have we got? Figure of 8.
Yeah.
So it's sorry. Down, gain a load of speed. We'll look for about 270 knots. Coming up. We'll pull back. We'll maintain full power for it. Keep the turn constant, which means you'll slowly have to add a little bit more of elevator as the speed drops to keep the turn going. You're going to go down to a 45-degree angle, roll over, wait for the speed again, and we're going to do the opposite. If you look at the stick, you'll see how much I'm pulling. It's not full. It's probably about half at the most. little bit of down angle, roll out, and we'll level out. Right, where can we go? We need an open space, we'll go to the left. Get you about, there you go, 6,000 feet. And a loop's pretty obvious what a loop is, so it's steady pull all the way around. You have control.
Yeah, I have control.
Right, so when you're ready, we'll go for a barrel roll left, level out, count to 2, barrel roll right, level out.
Alright. One, two.
And we'll go for a straight loop. Speed's good. Try and keep the wings level. Level out of that for me, for speed over speed. Right, we'll try a loop again. You try and keep your wings level. Because I think when we went into it, we had about 10 degrees bank on. It ends up being sort of a wonky loop rather than a straight loop.
Right.
So just keep the wings level, and then as you're passing 90 degrees, just keep a steady back pull, and then your wings should come out of the 90 degrees level. There you go. A little bit of right and down. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, just keep looking at the air.
Yeah. I mean, you got the HUD in front of you, so.
I don't really find it very clear to see the wings.
Oh, okay. Okay. And now we'll go for a half loop. Vertical, followed by a roll out. I'll have the opposite of that. Idle throttle. Gosh, your speed will get too high. Just make sure we don't overspeed. Should be good. Yeah, we're good. Okay, airfield is off our left wing. We're at the opposite end of the active runway. If you can position us, fly sim, run and brake, left hand, followed by a full stop landing.
Roger.
Feel adventurous, fly over the top of the airfield and do the manoeuvre you just performed to enter the final leg. If you've got enough height, that is.
Yeah, I don't actually know where the airfield is. There's a cloud layer. Yeah.
Oh, you got cloud. Turn right 20 degrees. And let's descend through that cloud layer.
It looks to be about 3,000 feet.
What is the cloud layer?
Yeah.
Okay, you should see the airfield will be off 2 o'clock.
Ah, yeah.
Just position, self-position for a run and brake.
Right hand downwind. Try not to hit the high air balloon. Or the terrain.
Treading my right hand dead side to join the brake. Actually scratch it, I have control.
You have control.
Training 7, joining right in the circuit, 19. I'm
Training 7, Training 1 joining your right wing for the brake.
No, you joining me?
Hey fam.
Copy.
What altitude you at?
I'm high. Coming down now. I'll bring it down to about 1500.
Copy. How high?
It's about 5,000.
If you can not have full power, that'd be great as well. Keeps us trying to keep it. We're down at 2,500 looking for you.
Could be on your 11 o'clock-ish.
Visual. Do you have him coming onto our nose now?
Yes, just pop them to
Yeah. Speed check.
180. What's on
Okay.
it? About 200.
Yeah, about that. Left way. Try and slow down.
Copy.
Hate turbo props, they're so laggy. What's your throttle at? Your torque?
About 75% on stick.
What's your torque at on the gauge?
Whereabouts is that? I'm still getting used to it.
Right hand side.
About 65%.
Roger.
I'll keep it there for now. I can hold it at that.
Yeah, cool. We're a little bit higher, so we'll catch up slowly. Speed check.
210.
Roger. Ready for the turn.
Copy, turn in now.
I'll let you land it, Charlie.
Alright.
I just thought since
Oh, yeah, actually landing on touch and go.
Say again?
Actually landing on touch and go.
Actually landing. That'll be our last landing. Basic skills check complete. As I said, basic skills check.
If I don't fuck up the landing.
Yeah. If we now crash and die, then remedial training will be required.
I'm pretty confident with that.
Speed check.
210.
Roger. Closing.
I'll just keep it at 65% there.
Okay.
Just in a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't know how to find the wrong way, do you?
Have me head in the cockpit. Ascending a bit as well.
See if we can catch up with Connor in time. There we go, captured it. I do usually fly close to formation, but I'm not used to flying this aircraft myself, so. Ready for the brake.
You left or right circuit?
Left.
Brake when you're ready. You brake
Yeah,
first.
when you're ready. You go.
You can brake now if you want.
No, you can
Or
brake.
am I?
Yeah, you lead. I thought I said left.
No, you said right.
Did I say right?
Where you said right.
Charlie, what did I say?
Left.
Yeah, I thought so. It's
Ah.
just fucking Connor not listening.
To be honest though, if I was concentrating as well, I would have gone well.
Yeah. You get the idea of running brake though from that, yeah?
Yeah.
What's a rough approach
control.
experience?
Don't know, mate.
I haven't gone.
Ask Charlie.
Tell me what's the rough approach speed?
110.
110. Cheers, mate. Oh shit, yeah, there's a bit of a mountain here, isn't he?
Hence why I said left.
Bingo.
I don't have you visual at the moment.
Sorry, outside finals now.
Alright.
I'll keep an eye out for him. We'll continue downwind slightly anyway.
Keep thinking about bloody air balloons, traffic.
When you're ready, we can turn him.
I'll
Turn
turn
7
now.
finals.
Speed's come off already, so don't worry about trying to get the speed down now. You want to actually maintain.
Yeah, it'll come down when the flaps start coming out.
For Eastwood.
Oh, that's going to be like a perfect lineup as well.
Almost.
Overshoot a little bit. So let's take off flaps in gear. And we'll reduce the throttle a bit and bring landing flaps out. Okay, gear is down, both notches flat for around. Yes, speed's coming down nicely. The nose down. Get onto the centre line.
Training 1 finals. Full stop.
Need a little bit of throttling.
What I'll do once we're landed, I'll reduce the pitch to slow us down better. Because the brakes do work. You can stop with just brakes, but they're not as effective as they should be.
Turn 7 going around.
Holy shit.
Altitude.
Not used to this
Altitude.
aircraft, mate.
Okay. This is better. I'm gonna not even talk to you. I'm gonna let you do what you think you need to do. Not the centre line, but I'll let you have it. Pitch is reduced to fine.
Brakes aren't working.
I know. I guess yours weren't for the fact you hadn't done it yet.
I was like, what to do if my brakes weren't working? Oh yeah, tell him.
I'll take us in.
Turn 7 downwind 19.
All mine. Yeah, I've not even actually got any throttle on, I've just put the prop pitch to course. The taxi's on idle. While we're on downwinds there, did you hit bingo?
Yes.
Yeah, that was basically telling us that's our sortie fuel finished, return to base. We have that in all aircraft. Depending how far you're going and the sortie you're on, you'll have a mission defined bingo.
Alright.
It's basically the fuel that's going to be required to get you back to base and still have a bit left. Right, any questions on anything we've gone over? I'll quickly go over the operation sheet again, that's it.
No, I think I'm pretty much just a bit of practice and we'll be alright.
Cool. Right, so bring TFR back up. So what you'll need to press now is once the parking brakes are on,
just
you'll
wait
be
for
able,
it to get up.
because the parking brakes are already on, you'll only be able to start and stop a flight when the parking brakes are on.
Now, not wanting to come back up again. Ah, there we go.
There you go. So I don't shrink it, but
So it still says recording, so
yep. So press the stop button because we've got our parking brake on. You'll be able to,
like the orange button.
yeah, stop sign,
Stop.
and then press the green tick to file PIREP.
Let it start responding again.
Yeah, just
Should
leave
have
it.
sent.
You'll hear a...
Pirate filed.
There you go, that's it, Pirate now filed. Now if you're going to do another flight, you unclick chartered flight, click it again, start all over.
Alright.
Let me just end my stream there, hang on.